Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Edit. My name is Jared Hucks. I'm your host and also a wedding and portrait photographer based out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Today I am working in Lightroom and in Photoshop. Let's get started. Now, as you can see right here, this handsome devil on the screen is Mr. Josh Jepson. He is a Let's Player here on YouTube, and he does a lot of work with video games and also with a personal vlog, which is a video blog for those who may or may not know. He's an awesome guy, and he makes some really funny and awesome content. He has a good bit of subscribers here on his Let's Play channel on YouTube, and while he was visiting in the Myrtle Beach area, I decided that I wanted to take a few really fun photos with him, and he was willing to, kind of put up with me and a few ideas that I had. So he decided to do a lot of fun poses with me. So this is one, and we're going to talk about my vision for this one and how I'm going to use it, and the integration between Photoshop and Lightroom that I'm going to use to edit this photo. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go into Develop module. I've already picked out the photo that I want to edit, so we're going to go ahead and start. Now, obviously, this is not a finished photo. I'm not just going to color grade this and call it a day. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I was thinking. For someone who works with video games for a living, I figured I'd do something that was kind of magic-ish, like holding the controller, like wow, something that he's using as a tool that seems kind of crazy to everybody else. Because yeah, it's kind of hard to describe yourself as a Let's Player because for people that don't understand that, it's like you make money playing a video game on the internet. That's pretty impressive, so that's kind of the thought I had behind it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of time to edit out the cord and the light switch here in the background, and also clean up the photo a little bit here and there. So first thing I'm going to do, we're just going to try and find an overall edit right over the top. I really like Provia for this image. I like the crispiness of the contrast, so we're going to start there and see if it works out. If not, I might go to 400H, which I also like. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to start in 400H because I really like what it's doing to his shirt. So we're going to start here. All right, this is looking a little dark. Let's see if minus works. Okay. How about push? I'm liking this a little bit. The color cast gets kind of strange on the double. You get this weird blue cast, but it doesn't really affect the reds much. So we're actually going to start here. This is where we're going to start. I'm going to go ahead and just for the sake of editing time, we're going to pull the grain down now, and that way we don't have anything causing any problems. Straight away, just because I know I'm going to have to clone some in Photoshop, I want to do as much as I can in Lightroom first. So just zooming out here, we're going to zoom back in. We're just going to go to his eyes, and I just want to bring the sharpening up. I really love the XT1 and how much I can really do with the sharpening here in the raw file. It really loves to be pushed, and that's why I can bring the sharpening up without getting much artifacting. We're going to go ahead and just zoom into 100% and see that. You can see this. You don't see really any artifacting. I'm just going to pull it up to 100 and see, or 150. Now you can see all these like crazy things that don't really exist, that the computer is trying to put texture there. So I'm going to just bring that down, and as you can see, I'm at 90, and this is still pretty darn sharp with no artifacting really, but just for sake of quality purposes and editing, I'm going to bring it down to about 60. I like that. That's really sharp. And now let's start playing with the sliders a little. Okay, highlights I want to bring down just a bit to kind of balance the image out, because this is kind of contrasty. It's got a lot of dark features in it. So let's go ahead and pull this up a little bit just so we can kind of even it out a little more. Okay, that works. Great. All right, and let's go ahead and just do a few edits on his face. I'm going to just do a few things here. I'm going to brighten up his eyes a little bit because I want it to kind of look like this controller is glowing a little in his hands. So his eyes would be brightened up a bit because of it. Now, I have been asked in Facebook groups and those kind of things what I use, and I have a Intuos Medium tablet, and also a Apple Magic Mouse. Nothing special, nothing too expensive. This is all pretty easy, to use. I mean, if I didn't have the pad, I could probably do all this with the Magic Mouse. It would just take me a little bit more time. When I first started editing in Lightroom, all I had was the trackpad on my MacBook Pro. So, you can use anything really. It's just all about how much time you want to put into really making it work for you. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and push his right eye just a little more here without making it look ridiculous. Okay. Now they pretty much match, I think. Yeah, I like that. Now what I'm going to do, like I did on one of my other videos, the black and white selective focus portrait, I'm just going to grab a radial filter, and I'm just going to put it over the narrow side of his face that's away from the light source, and I'm just going to bring up the shadows a bit. I did the opposite before because the right side of the other subject's face was blown out a little bit, so I brought the highlights down. But now what I'm doing is I'm bringing up the shadows, and that way I'm trying to get a little bit more of a base here, and that way it almost looks like I had a reflector or something to just bring it. I'm just bringing in the shadows a little bit. Okay, good there, but it's not I'm still getting a lot of this crispiness in the shirt, which I love, so good to go. Alright, now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and just right click down here on the image, edit in. We're going to go to Photoshop. Okay, now that we have the image in Photoshop, we're going to go ahead and do the cloning to get rid of this cord and the light switch. I probably could have done this in Lightroom, but I didn't want to take any chances on that light switch. I want to go ahead and get that thing out of there. So we're going to go ahead and start. I'm just going to hit S and get my clone stamp tool, and we're just going to start around the outside edge. Now I'm switching to my pen tool, or my pen tablet, so I have something to work with. I'm just going to start tracing this out. Now, I don't know if any of you out there are video game nerds like I am, but if you enjoy video games, you should definitely check out Josh's channel. He puts out some pretty funny content, and it's a good time. He puts out a lot of these, I think probably my favorite thing that Josh puts out, he has these videos where he does top 10 lists of different funny things that he's seen in videos or video games. He does question and answer time as well, which is pretty cool. And there's a lot of really neat stuff that he looks up and just researches in these games that I enjoy hearing about. That's a big part of the industry is knowing how these guys did what they did to create something fun, and that's something he really enjoys, and I really enjoy listening to him talk about it. Okay, so I got the outside edge of that. You can see here it's starting to look a little on the cloned side. Sometimes you can really tell, but we're going to go ahead and fix that in just a few minutes. So bringing that back up, we're just going to trace this out. The good thing is that I am shooting at f11. This back wall is solid and it's dark, so we don't have to worry about too much texture. But it's pretty easy to just go ahead and knock it out. And while I'm here, I'm just going to get another couple of the nicks on the wall. That it could be dust on the sensor, it could be a nick in the wall or something that I'm picking up that you wouldn't even be able to see in to the naked eye, or if just the regular lights were on. Okay, so now it really does look like this thing is just floating in space in front of him, and it's still hard to sell because this thing was lit extremely well. And I don't want anyone to think that that was photoshopped in, because we really did have that sitting exactly where it was. We took out the cord, obviously, but that really was where it was sitting. I'm going to go ahead down here and just create a new adjustment layer with curves. Now, I have talked in the past about cinematic color grading. If you'd like to see that video, I'm going to have an annotation up. You can just go ahead and click on that and head over there now. But we're just going to talk a little bit about how I can do this in Photoshop as well. I'm going to take my blue, and as you can see, if I bring up the blue curves, it brings blue into everything. If I bring down the blue curves, it gives me yellow. Okay. I'm just going to just replace that. Good. I'm going to go to green. If you bring green up, it goes to green. If you bring it down, it goes to purple. So green is where I want to start. I'm just going to take the bottom here. I'm going to create a point on the scale, and I'm going to bring the shadows up. Good, good, good. Now what this does is it brings more green into the lower band in the shadows and things like that. What I'm going to do also, I'm going to go to blue. Because as you remember, we did do a teal color for the shadows in the last edit video. So that's where I want to start. And as you can see here, it brought up all of this, so he's starting to look a little cold. So I'm just going to put something about middle of the ways, and then I'm going to drag it down. Good. Good, good, good. And I like that. Let's just see the before and after. All right, that's a good start. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm just come down here, go to color. Okay, and that means it doesn't change the luminosity or the texture of the photo at all. All it does is change the color with the curves. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to create another layer called black and white. All right. Now the black and white, I'm going to show you why I'm doing this. We're just going to go to, let's start with a blue filter. Okay, blue filter gives me a lot of texture in the buttons, but it takes away the red shirt. Now red is something that you normally use for portraits, so let's just go with a red filter. As you can see, it kind of like naturally smooths his skin out a good bit, but I don't like how much I'm losing here on the left side of his face, so we're going to bring that down a bit to more of a neutral place, and let's just play with the yellow here. Good. Green. That's good. Any cyan in there? Yeah. Okay, good. All right, I like where this is, and I'm going to show you why I'm doing it this way. Now, this is not going to be a black and white image. The reason I did that is because now I have something with a lot of texture, and I like the way it's treated the textures in the shirt, those types of things. So I'm going to take it, and I'm going to go down here to luminosity. Okay, and what this does is it changes the contrast of the image without changing the colors much. So pretty neat. I like it, and I think this is a good place for the edit to start to evolve into. Good. All right, I really like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and save, and I'm going to go back into Lightroom. Okay, so this is the photo that we had when we started in Photoshop, and now we are to this. This is the beginnings of our finished image. Now, as I said before, this was supposed to be like some type of magical device that he uses, to create an audience and those types of things on YouTube, which is something that most people don't get the opportunity to do on the scale that he does. So I really wanted to kind of have that feel to it. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this radial filter, and we're going to just try this out, because I didn't practice this at all in the first hand, and I haven't tried this at all. This is a base edit for the first time for me as you're seeing it. We're going to go ahead and invert mask. Okay, we're going to bring this down a bit. All right, and let's see here. We have it's pretty dark at this point. I don't want it quite this dark. Okay, we're going to bring down, let's see here. Bring down everything about a third of a stop. Let's try it there. Okay, I like it. It's getting there. Now what I want to do is I want to take that radial filter again, and I'm going to create another. Okay. I'm just going to up my exposure a bit. This is nice. Okay, so here is my finished image of Josh Jepson. I really like this image, and I think it's something that he's going to really enjoy. I hope he does. He has not seen this edited image. He is going to be seeing it live just as you are, and I hope he enjoys it. Thank you so much for having this time with me, Josh, and letting me take this portrait session with you. And I really hope you enjoy the images and hope that they serve the purposes that we've talked about and have something really fun for you and your fans to enjoy. If you'd like to see the image in its glory on my website. Please check out the link below in the description. You can find everything there. Also, make sure to, subscribe to my channel and also connect with me socially. I'd really love to know what you guys think about this channel. Please comment below. Let me know what you like, dislike, something you'd like to see in the future, all that good stuff. Thanks so much for watching, guys. JarrettHux.com. See you next time.